Hello, and welcome to another tank review. I'm Corny Swiss, and today we're looking at the Panzer Bleifschwagen Jagdpanther thing, because I don't know German, so we're just going to call it the Jagdpanther for the purposes of this review. This is the premium version of this tank, the standard Jagdpanther 5 Jagdpanther. And in the research tree, it's right there in tier 4 at a 6.0 battle rating. And to just get it out of the way, this is the same tank essentially as the non-premium Jagdpanther. The only difference is historically this is the commander variant of the tank. So I don't know, like maybe your column commander would be sitting in this tank, and he would have this extra. He has this extra radio thing to communicate with all of his lieutenants and or whatever to organize the tank column, or do whatever he needs to do. So so like before, just like my SC-122P review, there's going to be different parts. They're all going to have timestamps in the description. This is going to be the first part is going to be the garage segment where we look into the stats and things like that. Then we're going to have a realistic and simulator battle replays in no particular order, but there'll be one of each, and then like a final opinion thing, and all those timestamps are going to be below. So if you want to skip to something, feel free. So if you want to stick around for this egghead part, let's be eggheads. So just to kind of start off, the sort of basic history of the Jagdpanther. This was built in like 1944, and it was produced all the way to the end of the war, and this is another example of a German machine that was very, very effective, but, produced, there weren't enough of them, they broke down too much, and they couldn't be fixed. Just, bleh, it's just problems. But whenever these things were in combat, and they were able to use this fantastic 88mm gun, they wrecked things. Yeah, I mean, it's the same as the Ferdinand, same as the Tigers, but the issue was getting to the combat and staying in the combat, and not being mobbed by advancing Russian infantry. Most of this particular tank, the Jagdpanthers, they mainly saw service on the Eastern Front, fighting against the Russians, but there were some to counter the Normandy invasion, and then there was a significant concentration also in the Ardennes offensive, aka the Battle of the Bulge. And the biggest thing about this tank is this 88 Pak 43 gun. This was the just terror of the battlefield. Just this gun. In the game, this is the tank destroyer variant of the gun. You have machines like the Tiger II, which have the KWK 43. Same gun, just the heavy tank version. On the tank destroyers, it's the Pak 43. And this gun in real life combat was able to take out enemy targets at like 2 kilometers. So Russian tanks couldn't even get the shell over here, and these German tanks were just blasting them. And it was just a fantastic gun, So this whole tank is designed around carrying this gun around and pointing it at the enemy and letting them have it. So in the game, this fantastic gun fires 4 different ammunition types, and because it's premium, it comes with all of them already unlocked. So you start off, you have your standard AP. It's a armor-piercing composite ballistic cap shell, and it has a 1,000 meter per second muzzle velocity. That's really, really good, and the penetration is great at all ranges. There's not many tanks you can't pen with just a standard AP. And then you get your APCR, which has fantastic penetration in all ranges, 1,200 meters per second, so it's a laser pointer. And then you have your heat, which is really, really slow, has 103 millimeters at all ranges. To me, this is borderline useless. Then you have your HE, which is borderline useless, more so than the heat, but same thing. I've actually never fired either one of these shells out of the gun. I only have fired these 2, and on the average, this is what I fire. The only times I've fired the APCR is when I'm out of AP, or let's say you're in like an arcade battle and you're shooting at a Ferdinand. APCR is probably a good choice. Or if you run into like a hold down IS-3, okay, maybe you need APCR because that's a tough target. But this AP I carry, I think my split is like 41-12, or what's the ammo loadout? 57. I carry 41 AP, and then the rest, so 16 APCR. And I rarely use the APCR. Most time when I've used this because I've run out of AP on game modes like Kursk. So the gun has great penetration, great muzzle velocity. It's very, very accurate out to very long ranges. It basically flavors the entire German tank tech tree at this level because 2 of the 3 sort of lines uses it, the tank destroyers and the heavy tanks. Your medium tanks get this KWK-42. It's a 75mm, so they use that, but you know, the tank destroyers and heavy tanks use this gun, and it's really, really good. I think when you get the tank, the reload rate is 13 seconds or so, but with upgrading the crew, I've gotten mine down to 11.7, just, you know, pretty good. That's very respectable. And you know, with this tank, you have 8 degrees of gun depression, 14 degrees of elevation. In this game, that's really good. 8 degrees, that's plenty. That's you know, leaps and bounds ahead of the Russian gun depression. So moving on from the gun, let's talk about the armor. The armor is 80 millimeters at the front, which is good. It's more than the Russians at this tier. And it's sloped to high heaven right here. That's really, really good sloping. It's 40 at the sides and rear, but just like anything, if you shoot them in the sides and the rear, tanks in this game blow up. And that's the same with this tank. The weak spots on the front, you have this hatch here, which is weak, and you have this machine gun port, which I think is weak. I don't know. I haven't been able to confirm. Because quite honestly, most of the guns that shoot at me go clean through for some reason. High caliber Russian guns just eat these things up. I have been able to bounce things, but normally when I do, it's because I present them something like this, you know, or this, and I get a lucky bounce off like here, or like here maybe, but usually they just go, see you next time, which is actually really a problem because this tank only gets 1 spawn, whereas the SU-100, the SU-122P each get 2, so that's pretty, you know, you're kind of at a disadvantage in that respect. But it's just I just get hung up on the armor. The gun mantlet is 100, so don't go shooting the gun mantlet of this thing, but it's like you can shoot it here, you can shoot it here, you can shoot it here, and you'll damage this thing, you'll kill crew, you may even blow up the whole tank. And I don't know, I think it's just a function of that the Russian tanks of this tier get such high caliber guns that just don't care. Just say, hey, you have armor, nice, let me just pound away, and they just blast you. I mean, all these tanks have like 122mm guns, 100mm guns. Just get out of here. You can bounce T-44s at range, and that's nice. It only is an 85mm gun though. So the armor, I don't know. It's not that good. I mean, statistically it should be better, but it's just not. And then you have, if you move on to, like, you know, the engine, you have 700 horsepower at 3,000 RPM. It's really good. 55 kilometers an hour. Yeah, you'll do that, no problem. No problem. It's a, see the stat here, 13.76 horsepower per ton in American language. So power to weight ratio is really, really good. And just as, for some reason, all tanks except the Ferdinand, this thing is a spider tank. It can go up a 90-degree slope if I'm reading that right. Now tell me, when can a Tiger II off speed H 68-ton machine go up a 90-degree slope with the same engine as this thing, which is, I might add, 22 tons less? Yeah, tell me about that one. But so the tank is fast. It's as fast as the SU-122P. I mean, it has 2 kilometers an hour or more, but it's not, doesn't matter. They basically go the same speed. And it turns fine. The turret rotation, which I think is the gun traverse, fine. Not a big deal. The penetration is great. This tank in the garage is really, really good. I mean, apart from maybe the armor, but this tank is sort of designed to be that sneaky tank destroyer. If you want to take shots, you're going to play something like the Ferdinand, which is designed to take shots at range, obviously. But so I don't know. The issue I think this tank runs into is that the battle rating of like 5.7 to 6.3 is just dominated by Russian tanks. Because like I said, this tank only gets one spawn, Ferdinand gets one spawn, excuse me, Jagdpanther gets one spawn, this tank gets one spawn. It's just, the Russians have SU-100 gets 2, SU-122P gets 2, T-44 obviously has 2, and the T-44 is, I think, a much better tank than any of the mediums the Germans have. You know, sure, the Tigers are good, but so is the IS-2s. The IS-2s are really good too. So I don't know. I guess the positive thing about this tank is I've always found that it's not that hard to do well in with a battle with this tank. The issue you have is winning that battle, you know, because you only get one spawn, so it's very hard to like kind of win. And you always are open to the fact that what if a year or two just drops 1,000 kilograms of bombs on you? You're hosed. You're done. You know, and you can't just jump in a new tank like a Russian could. But you know, I don't know. I feel like that's a balance thing they're gonna fix later. I'll talk about that later though. So that's kind of the statistical analysis of this tank. The armor's decent. The gun is fantastic. The speed is good. The maneuverability's fine, adequate. It is taller and heavier than the Russian tank destroyers, but it also has this gun depression to kind of even the scale. If you go up on a low rise, you can tilt yourself up, present a harder slope, and still have the gun on target. And this gun fires easily twice as fast as the Russian gun, so you can get 2 shots for almost sometimes 3. Can you get 3? I know you can get 2 at least. So that's kind of the statistical analysis of this tank. So let's jump into some gameplay. So here we go in the realistic gameplay for the Tier 4 Premium Jagdpanther. This is a Kursk realistic battle, as you can tell. And what I'm doing right now is I'm driving out onto the eastern side of the A cap. At the time, this was actually one of my first games in the Jagdpanther. As you can tell, I'm carrying a little bit more APCR than I usually do, and this I think is the game that made me decide, okay, I don't want all this APCR, and I think you'll see why eventually. But I came out over here primarily to get some easy shots on some AI and kind of watch for the Russian team climbing that ridge directly there and just running along the side and flanking us, because that would be bad. And you actually see one of them doing it right now. But that's a pretty tough shot. I wasn't in the mood to take it at the time, but we'll come back for him. So right now I'm using the sort of long range accuracy, and I actually thought that shot would have killed him, so I turned away. But I'm sitting in this field next to a little rise to give myself some cover. I'm just kind of trying to use this gun in its optimal circumstances. Very long range, very little chance of effective return fire. And that's an SU-122P who's stopped. Well, that was way over. Like, I think I'd just been playing the SU-122P, because that was a good range for the SU-122P's gun, not for this gun. That one went over as well, and then some guy nails him. So whatever. That was a dangerous tank that was eliminated by the team. So I am not complaining. Yes. So there's just some AI up here, but I can't see them. And if you can't see a target, it's very hard to hit it, even with known range. So I'm just kind of taking pot shots of the AI and letting the battle develop. On the mini map, we have I think a medium, or is that a heavy? We have someone out on the flank. I can't tell because the window I'm looking at is a little small. So there goes an AI. There's another one. basically I'm just going to pound some AI for until kind of just it develops and I get a better idea of where the enemy are. I would rather not go rushing forward like you can in Russian tanks to with this, because I only get one life, one spawn. So where did that shell go? And that bug with ghost shells, that still happens. You're going to see a prime example of this, of that in this game. So solid hit. I thought that would have killed him, but not today. And some T-44 is just wrecking all of our AI. That's something you'll find a lot at this tier. You'll see a hell of a lot of medium tanks from the Russians and tank destroyers. You'll see heavy tanks, but you'll see them in far less quantity than you would with like the Germans. So there's a guy there. That was just a YOLO shot. That went way over for sure. He's sitting in one of those little bunker things, which is actually a really good position to some degree. You can see kind of an example there. That T-44 is sitting in that little bunker, and I can barely see the top of his turret. But this guy is sitting in the open, I think. Yep, he was. It was an SU-122P, so I just knocked him out. That was a dangerous tank that they don't have anymore. So there's these easy AI. These are probably the easiest AI to hit right here. Of course I don't one-shot him. But that T-44 is still there. So after I get rid of these easier shots, I might want to take a crack at him, because I bet you he's causing some hurt. T-34, very strong, yes. Very strong tank. Do not care about 88mm gun. No problem. Kablamo. Got him. And there's another one. There's a few AI here. Why not? You gotta, I mean, on Kursk you gotta take out the AI because they do become a problem, as you'll see eventually. And they're free points. You might as well. I mean, your goal is to get research and credits, right? And that's an easy way to do it, is kill these little AI tanks. So let's see. There's another one. Kablamo. Okay, now all the easy shots are out of the way. Let's take a look at these harder ones. That guy's in a bunker. The other guy's in a bunker. It's time to pick, you know, the lesser of two evils. That was short into the bunker. At this point, I'm looking around because I see all the AI IL-2s are flying around, and that kind of freaks me out. Because I'm thinking, oh man, a year 2 is about to just drop some bombs on my head. I guess that shot was short based on the dirt plume there. Kind of annoying. But I'm not too worried about my eastern flank because we have a heavy tank now way out there. I think he's just, okay, this is going way the hell over. Yep, bring it down. Nope, that's way over. Way over. And maybe this one? I don't think so. No, over. Bring it down a little bit more. That might be the ticket. Might be. I think it's gonna miss. Yep. It missed to the I think it was good range, but it missed to the left there. Just because I'm on a slope on a hill, so the shot's gonna tail a little bit to the left. That one, I think it went over. I think it's a different. Am I shooting a different target? Yeah, I am. I'm shooting at the other guy who's in the bunker. His turret's a little more visible. That was a ghost shell. And the unfortunate thing is I have no idea where it went, but picturing it in my head, I thought, okay, I think that went short. No way to tell, obviously. But that one certainly did. So give it a little bit more. I mean, that's a shot right there. Holy cow. Only barely side of his turret. Boom, nailed it. And that's what you get with this tank, is you get a very effective long-range sniper. Now, but this guy would be a god if I hit this. If I killed him, rather. Not short. It's good. It was decent lead, but it was short. He's running kind of away from me. That one, I think, went in front of him. This is what I was talking about with the AI. This was annoying. These little AI, these little like AAA artillery, whatever they are, just started laying into me, and they tracked me, and you know, as you can tell, they tracked me, which is annoying. And now I'm out of AP, so I'm loading APCR. I got 23 rounds of APCR left. And these AI are just so annoying. I mean, I get why they're there, and they are pretty useful sometimes when you're when you're looking for the last enemy tank. These guys will just pound the ground where he is, help you find him. But this is an example of why I don't use the APCR on this tank. You're gonna watch quite a few shots go into this little AI tank, and I just can't do enough damage to knock him out. I kind of just hit the same thing over and over when I hit, obviously. And that's why I'm tempted to go to like a... I think carries 57 rounds of ammunition. I'm tempted to go to a 50-70 split so I can have move a lot more AP, because another thing I didn't consider is that when you switch rounds and you go to higher muzzle velocity, your aim gets thrown off, because now you're used to doing a certain elevation and you don't do that anymore, and enemy howitzers open fire on allied tanks. A big surprise. No shit, Sherlock. You know. But anyway, this tank is so durable from 8 artillery fire. Clearly you can see it takes no damage. Okay, that guy's on fire, so he's dead now. That guy is the priority now, because he's way out on my flank. I have been killed by artillery before. I think it was actually in this tank. They lit me on fire, and then you know, I'd already been lit on fire once, and they just burned me up before the fire extinguisher did anything. Hit him, hit his suspension. I didn't knock it out. That's encouraging though. I hit that guy on the move. That's good. I want to get rid of that guy, but he's preoccupied with the other guy, with our ally over there. Okay, his suspension is red now. I hit him again. Be nice to kill him, but he's going behind like a little hill. It'll be a tough shot now. And this, get on out of here. Fuck you! But, quick check to see how many tanks they have. They still have a fair number. We're gonna... Nailed him! He must have gone into the side of the turret. I could barely see that guy. Actually, I really couldn't. But I just sort of sent the shot anyway. Why not? There goes another artillery. You know, and that artillery is annoying. I gotta clean these guys up. These little guys. If I don't, they're just gonna keep shooting me and tell everyone where I am. But now that guy, this other T-44, is a little bit of a problem now. And he's also silhouetted. Fantastic! I missed, because I'm bad. Let's see if we can't get this one in. He stopped. Stop the Reno, Cappuccino. Send it. Hit his suspension. I'm pounding this guy's suspension. But, I mean, the advantage this tank has over Russian tanks is that its rate of fire is such that I can just keep sending shots downrange. So I knocked that guy out. Somehow they started to cap. I don't know how the cap works on this, but, you know, I'm going to clean out this artillery. See ya. And then I'm going to turn off the cap so that we don't have to do it, so they won't cap and just win that way. It's not looking good right now. We have 2 tanks and a plane versus their like 3 tanks or something like that. So I stop the cap, and there's an enemy, T-44. So okay, we'll pull up. He is running at range. Blammo. Tracked him. That was big. But you will notice on the minimap there is another tank off to my flank now. It's a T-34-85, who's going to be a problem. Boom. Hit his driver. Okay, I didn't kill him. That's not good. Boom. I think that was the T-34-85. Just put a shot into my side. Wrecked my engine. Wrecked my gun. 5-minute repair. Gunner fired. Blew the barrel anyway. There was no reason to not. It was stuck and didn't die anyway. Now I'm thinking, okay, what are the odds we win here? That guy's damaged. You know, okay, I'm waiting. Boom. There it goes. As expected. You know, what can you do? We would go on to win the battle. I'd get a healthy reward. So, all is not lost. And so here we go on a simulator battle in the premium Jagdpanther. It's on Karelia. and I'm going to apologize in advance. I'm doing this with a voiceover, and the video feed I watch is kind of laggy, kind of stuttery, stop and go. It's just a fairly big file, so I apologize if maybe my commentary isn't precise, but I'll try and make corrections. But anyway, this replay I think is more important for the decisions I have to make because of the I guess the limitation of this tank in terms of spawns. It only gets one. So that's why I included this one. So as you can see, I'm down here on this flank road, and there's a heavy tank, an SU-122, an SU-100 I think actually it is, and a T-44 down this way. And I think the SU-100's been nailed, if I'm not mistaken, already. Yeah, that's him. He's dead. He's gone. Bye-bye. There's still an IS-2 down here. Can't remember if it's a 44 or if it's just an IS-2, but he is kind of annoying. Just take a cursory shot at him, but obviously didn't hit anything. And he's gonna just play peekaboo with us a little bit. He just drives out, spots us, backs up. So that made me think there was a clan in this, or a squadron I guess they call it, in this game. So I was thinking maybe, okay, what if one of his buddies is in a plane and he's just gonna bomb me? That'd be unfortunate, right? I think so. So I need to move positions. Ultimately, I want to advance on him and take the fight to him and hopefully use speed to get up on him and just wreck him. I want to wait. I would like it for that if he fired at someone else, obviously. We have a Ferdinand advancing, which is good because the Ferdinand can take him from the front. I mean, same gun I have, which is plenty good enough for an IS-2, and it has the armor to exchange fire relatively well. So my plan here was, okay, I'm going to advance a little bit. I'm going to kind of stick with this Ferdinand, let him go forward and take shots while I kind of swoop in. So as you can see, the Ferdinand's kind of advancing on the outer portion of the road here. And that's smart for him because it lets him put his front armor into the direction where the shot's going to come from. He doesn't have to do very much. So he just fired there. I don't know if he hit the Ferdinand or what. But anyway, so he fired. So it means it's perfectly safe for me to now rush forward using the Ferdinand sort of as a distraction and get up here and try and put a shot into him before he reloads. So I'm just going to climb up here. I'm hoping that he's still at this corner because then I can shoot him from the back, maybe like set him on fire. But he's not. And actually I freaked out here for a second. I'm like, where the hell did he go? Is he pulling Russian mind games on me? Nope, there he is. It's right there. I wonder if he's seen me. He's gonna come back around here. He is. There he is. And I killed him. Sorry, the feed was delayed, but I guess he didn't see me based on where his gun was pointing, so just wrecked him. Sweet, that's one player down. He has, that tank doesn't have 2 spawns, unless he played the Eagles for it. And a T-44 is behind me now, so I quickly rush over here to get out of his line of fire. So I guess this guy might, I don't know if this guy saw him. But a friendly Tiger 2 is going to show up, put him out of his misery. So boom, that T-44 is dead, and I'm going to stop and thank the Tiger 2 for doing a good job taking out that guy. It's always helpful. That guy was probably going to toast me. And then right here, one of our teammates said there's an SU-100 at F1. F1 is near our spawn. It means that, and that's not inconceivable. He could have gone up along that road, that side I'm looking at, that cliff, and gotten over there. So I'm like, okay, well I can't have an SU-100 behind me. So he's just going to wreck us. He's just going to shoot us from the back, and then we can't have that. So I'm like, so I figured, okay, I'm in a fast tank. It's conceivable that that platoon sent that guy up there to flank us on the road, and he's just now getting there. So I said, okay, I'm going to rush over there. I know there's an SU-100 in the game. Maybe I can sneak up on him because he wouldn't be expecting us maybe to know where he is. And I just can't have a tank behind us. We only get 1 spawn, he gets 2, so we need to deal with him. So I'm just rushing back. I'm German though. It's funny, it's a pun. Hopefully I'm not going to get blasted in the side, because there is a heavy tank and a T-44 over there somewhere. They're just pounding people. Just gonna run up this cliff, get in some cover, and just, if the SU-100 is not here, I'm gonna wait and make sure, because he could have realized he'd been spotted. Because if he spots someone, that's likely that if we show up on his radar, it's likely that he'll show up on ours, right? I think that's logical. So I'm kind of looking for these other tanks here, because they're doing a number on our boys. There's a T-44 IS something, I think it was an IS-2, model 44, there it was. And then it's also, I mean, undoubtedly there's tank destroyers, there's so many of those in this game. I think, looking back on it, I think he's on the other side of this rock in front of me. I think he's directly across the way, but I don't know, I can't see him, he can't see me, so, because he hasn't shot me yet. But I'm worried about that. I don't think at this time I'm thinking, I don't know if the SU-100's here. He probably would have run up on me and one-shot me by now. So I think this might be safe. And there it goes. The Tiger II that I left at that corner just got mauled by a SU, I think it was an SU-100. Or an SU-122P or something. Whatever. He got killed, whatever it was. And that's not good. I mean, I'm not having, and this is an example. The way I'm having to play is entirely based on the fact that they get 2 spawns and I don't. So I have to be careful. So, and then I noticed that there is a T-44 running down this flank road, which, might add, is quite unacceptable. There he is. I realized, okay, there's no way I'm going to hit him. Maybe I can. I just hit the rock in front of me. Whatever. But I would like, obviously he's a problem because he can just flank us all over here. I should reload in time to put a shot into him. If the video feed wouldn't lag. So, okay, on that shot I just took out his vertical, his horizontal, and I think his cannon barrel too. This guy's done. I can just sit here. Just aim well, put it right through the front of the turret, take him out. Okay, now he just called arty on me, which is the issue of not killing him in the first shot. Oop, that was close. So I'm going to run up over here, because I think he would have expected me to run down the hill. So I'm going to run up the hill and get out of the... This tank is plenty fast enough to get out of the barrage. So that's the goal here. I'm just running up here. And as soon as it's done, I think I'm going to turn around and go back down and continue guarding that flank road. Because that's, I think, the priority here. But, you know, obviously uphill this tank doesn't turn all that well. Not many tanks do. Okay, they've lost a lot of players. This is when I first realized that we're in a good position to win here. They've lost a ton of people. And we haven't lost that many. So, to kind of recap, so far my contributions to this game haven't been that much. I killed an IS-2. Confirmed there wasn't an SU-100 at F1. And I took out a T-44 that was trying to flank us all. Okay, that's not bad, but it's not good. And I think I could have done so much better. There you go, hostile team lost all their vehicles, sweet. I think I could have done so much better if this tank was equivalent to its counterparts at the same tier. But because it's not, in terms of just spawns, I can't play that way. I gotta be passive tank destroyer rather than an aggressive chase you down and kill you style tank. So, I mean, it's whatever. Until the game has changed, there's not much we can do. And even then, I mean, I didn't do that well, but I got a healthy little reward here. That's plenty. That'll do. That'll do, pig. But, you know, that was the simulator gameplay. This is just a quick little section of a replay I wanted to show you. That's an IS-2 at approximately 10 miles. It's not actually 10 miles, but this is on a Kursk map where we literally have just gotten to our positions. The Russians are running in. And I'm going to end this guy's game from about 6,000 meters. No, I say 6,000 meters. I'm exaggerating, but that's actually not. Boom, 2 shots. First one to range, second one goes right in. That's just the power of this gun and this tank. Okay, so opinion time. I think that this tank is a good machine. I like it. It's powerful. But currently, as the game stands in patch 1.4, 1.29, 0.31, whatever, I can't say it's worth it. And the reason I say is you get good rewards, and if that's what you're after, if you don't care about necessarily winning, then I mean, go for it. But like, I'm gonna go to service record just to give you an idea of like what this tier is like. Okay, so my top 3 played. I haven't played a hell of a lot of games, but there it is at the top. 46 battles. We've won 14, 30%. And look at, I mean, 43 deaths, 162 kills, 46 spawns. Though you die, and then there's not a hell of a lot you can do anymore. I've shot down planes. I mean, it's the same across the tier. All 3 of these are below average. If I played more in the Tiger 2P, then there would be a lot more losses here. I mean, the Ferdinand, Lord, 25%. But then you go to Russian, just click off the German, 81%. It's the only tank I've actually played in. No, I've played this one, 75%. Oh god, slacked. 85.7%. I haven't played that much realistic Russians. Actually, I really haven't played that much Russians recently. But you see what I mean. The tier is just so imbalanced due to just, I think it's just the spawns. Give this tank and the Jagdpanther 2 spawns. And if you really want to, give the Ferdinand 2 spawns. You got it, or take away the SU-100 second spawn and the SU-122P second spawn. If you don't do either of those, or both, like if you don't do either of them, it's just going to stay like this. But if you take away one of the spawns from the Russian tank destroyers, or add a spawn to the German tank destroyers, and let's say not even the Ferdinand, because I can understand the argument for the Ferdinand. It's a very heavily armored machine. Jagdpanther and Premium Jagdpanther should have 2 spawns if the SU-100 and the SU-122P have 2 spawns. If you remove the second spawn from the Russian tank destroyers, then it's justified for these tanks to have 1. But it's not at the moment. And that's my biggest problem. This tank is good. It's a good machine. But at the tier and in the current situation of the game, it's not. You know, you won't win. You'll do okay, but you won't win. And it's always better to win, I think. So maybe, I guess if you're really, really dedicated to the German line, honestly, I think I would suggest taking your non-premium Jagdpanther, throwing a talisman on this. I mean, how much is the talisman? 1,800 on this tank. I haven't actually played this because I researched it with the premium one. I've played the Ferdinand a lot, but I was like, well, I already know what this plays like. I don't really want to play it. Just put a talisman on this, and it'll be the same tank as this. The reward, yeah, I think you'll get almost as much as research points. I don't know. You'll get less, but you'll get a lot either way, and you'll have good games. But you know, it's whatever. But thanks for watching. That's been this tank review. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. I'm more than happy to answer or refer you to someone who can. And have a nice day.